Exactly where we are with our capacity is a new feature.
Regions like Toronto and Peel are set to re-enter the gray lockdown zone after months of a stay-at-home order and
paramedics are, because of the pandemic, they're overstretched.
TTC drivers are urging the government to step up supporting those who seek shelter on the transit system. Plus,
we'd be a way better world if there were so many more people like my dad.
a final farewell for Canada's hockey dad. Walter Gretzky's family and friends gather for his funeral and to celebrate his life in his hometown of Brantford, Ontario.
This is CBC Saturday News.
Good evening, I'm Marivelle Tarouk. Toronto and Peel region are getting ready to lift a stay-at-home order. Now, residents will be able to visit non-essential businesses, and the limit for outdoor gatherings has been doubled to 10 people. As Lorenda Redekop explains, non-essential store owners are welcoming the change.
As of Monday, this hat shop will be able to reopen with 25% capacity. That's only 3 customers at a time.
It was like, yay, what a relief. You know, we've been waiting for it for such a long time and it kept on getting delayed.
They focused on online orders and embroidery to stay afloat and will be moving out all that extra equipment before reopening.
Every month you have to figure out ways of making ends meet and making it work. So with the store opening up, it provides another avenue of revenue, coming to the store that helps us.
It's not just small shops like these ones that can open on Monday for the first time in more than 100 days. The city's biggest malls are also preparing to reopen.
Right now, only essential businesses inside can open. 25% capacity at this mall is 6,000 people.
Shoppers can go onto our website and see exactly where we are with our capacity is a new feature.
People will be screened before entering. The mall recommends doing it online through a provincial website that then sends you a code.
You show us the results that you've received when you get to the shopping center, and that'll allow you access really, really easily.
Non-essential shopping is new for the gray or lockdown zone, a loosened restriction.
It's a very hard decision because if you made the wrong call in this case, going back to where we were before is going to be very hard for a lot of people to take.
Still, many restrictions remain. No indoor dining at restaurants and gyms are closed. That's as Ontario's new cases were down at under 1,000 today, below the 7-day average. But transmissibility is up recently, with each case infecting slightly more than one person.
If we can vaccinate, especially the elderly individuals living in the community very quickly, then the likelihood of that wave becomes much lower.
Those vaccinations are expected to ramp up with hopes they can help avoid a potential third wave. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
And Ontario reported just under 1,000 new COVID cases today. Of the daily cases, 284 were reported from Toronto, 173 from Peel region, and 82 in York. 20 more people with COVID-19 have died. And here's some data we'll be tracking more of. Today, the City of Toronto released their latest vaccination numbers. 197,155 doses have been administered in the city. At this point, vaccination clinics are focusing on priority groups, including residents aged 80 years and older. Well, for some of the city's most vulnerable who are seeking shelter, public transit has become a safe haven. Now, a petition signed by TTC operators and advocates are urging the government to provide more support to those experiencing homelessness during the pandemic. Dahlia Ashry has the details.
Transit use has been plummeting due to the pandemic. According to the Toronto Transit Commission, ridership is down by 75%. But TTC workers have seen an increase in people in need accessing the TTC for shelter. Jason Watts is a 12-year TTC veteran. He recalls recently seeing someone on a bus who needed mental health supports.
Our paramedics are, because of the pandemic, they're overstretched. So I think in that instance, I think he required someone with outreach over a paramedic.
That's why he started this petition. He's received support from other TTC operators and social workers. They're calling on city officials to provide outreach supports.
That's what's so exciting about this petition is it combines the two. We need the social supports, we need the mental health supports, along with the structural piece of having stability in people's lives, which housing would bring.
This homeless advocate explains why more people are seeking shelter at the TTC this winter.
We have seen frostbite in the community at a pretty high level, so that's really concerning. There's nowhere to go. Shelters are not safe. We're hearing about the variants in various shelter settings.
In a statement, the Toronto Transit Commission said homeless individuals are not inherently a threat. The union representing TTC workers agrees, saying they are sympathetic to those using TTC for shelter, but added it's important for the TTC to ensure safety for workers and riders at all times, going on to say the City of Toronto must do more to help homeless people find suitable shelter, especially during this pandemic. In April, the city started the Streets to Homes program in collaboration with the TTC, which offers harm reduction supplies, housing support, and more. Ernie Wine says that's a good start, but it's not enough.
You know, a mobile mental health team that could service folks who are in need, on TTC premises, I think would be an excellent first start. It's a call for a massive expansion of mental health services.
So far, the petition has more than 200 signatures. Watts hopes this will provide the necessary resources to solve this crisis. Dahlia Ashry, CBC News, Toronto.
Ontario's NDP leader unveiled a new environmental platform today.
We're going to make Ontario net zero by 2050. We're going to make sure Ontario's recovery is a just recovery. And we're going to create 1 million jobs over the life of the deal.
Andrea Horvath pledged to bring back the cap-and-trade carbon pricing system if elected in 2022. She says the program would generate $30 billion in revenue. She adds the cash would be used to pay for green building retrofits, to ramp up electric vehicle sales, and to plant 1 billion trees by 2020. Here's a live look at Ottawa this evening. The city's medical officer of health is warning people not to let their guard down, saying COVID levels are rising at alarming rates, and it's apparent a third wave is coming. Sophia's here now with a look at our forecast. I mean, the sun makes all the difference because it would otherwise be very chilly right now.
Yeah, it still feels like winter, but I feel like spring is kind of within yelling shot for all of us now. Maybe not within sight quite yet. Still feels a little bit like winter. But I have a bit of a spoiler alert for all of you for the long range forecast. It's okay though, because everybody's talking about it. It's going to get really, really nice next week. We're talking about a 3-day stretch above double digits. We haven't actually been above 10 degrees in the city of Toronto since last November 26th. Take Wednesday for starters. It is going to be absolutely balmy, but you don't want to put away the parkas just yet. As we've been talking about, still a little bit of winter still to get through. We'll feel like -14 when you wake up. Tomorrow morning, we hit back down to seasonal. Still feeling -5 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, as you mentioned, though. We still have this really brisk northwest wind to contend with. We'll be a little bit lighter than it was today, so we'll feel a little bit warmer in all of that sunshine, though. And then that milder air begins to push in for Monday. It isn't until Tuesday, though, when this big blocking ridge of high pressure finally moves out of the way and the real April-like warmth can filter in. And I'll tell you why in the long-range forecast. It might actually get even a little bit warmer than we forecast. It'll be really, really nice. You can put away the parkas for a few days next week.
Okay. Well, you can't tell us it's going to be warm too much, so can't wait for the long range. Thanks, Sophia. The funeral for Walter Gretzky was held today in his hometown of Brantford. He was known as the father of the Great One, but he's being remembered as the beloved hockey dad to all Canadians.
He was a remarkable man who loved life, loved family. We'd be a way better world if there were so many more people like my dad. Very special. We're all hurting. This is a tough time. I'm so proud of the fact that so many people have reached out and given him such great tributes because he deserves it. He has the heart of gold and just wonderful.
The eulogy there, of course, delivered by his son. Wayne Gretzky. Walter passed away after sustaining a hip injury 3 weeks ago, but Wayne says his father was surrounded by family, sharing stories. Walter Gretzky was 82 years old.
Today, I can say we've taken one more giant step forward in delivering on that promise.
The promise of more help on the way. The U.S. Senate has approved a $1.9 trillion relief package. We'll have the details straight ahead. The U.S. Senate has approved a $1.9 trillion pandemic relief package. Democrats had to compromise with the Republicans on several issues to get it passed, but President Joe Biden calls it a good day. Stephen D'Souza has the details.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 49. The bill as amended is passed.
After a marathon 24-hour session, today the United States Senate passed a $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. It was a straight party line vote, narrowly passing a bill the Democrats called historic.
This bill that we are completing now is the most significant piece of legislation to benefit working people in the modern history of this country.
With the economy hit hard by the pandemic, the relief package includes $1,400 checks for many Americans. rent assistance, aid for schools, and help for state and local governments.
I promised the American people that help was on the way. Today, I can say we've taken one more giant step forward in delivering on that promise that help is on the way.
Speaking after the vote, Joe Biden said the bill will speed up vaccinations and that the checks will start going out this month.
This plan puts us on a path to beating the virus. This plan gives those families who are struggling the most the help and the breathing room they need to get through this moment.
Democrats say this is a huge win for Biden.
You look at the package that was able to pass, and 99% of it is what the president laid out in his inaugural speech.
The process, though, showed the challenge facing Biden. The Senate is split 50-50 with the vice president holding the tying vote. So the bill had compromises. No raise to the minimum wage. Jobless benefits lowered slightly. This bill needed a simple majority, but future legislation will require 60 votes to pass, a tall order that could limit Biden's ambitions.
Whether it's democracy reforms and the voting rights bill, whether it's legislation on climate change, infrastructure, whatever it might be, that is a huge hurdle ahead for the Democratic Party.
The bill now goes back to the House of Representatives. The hope is Biden can sign it into law soon, as he promises Americans struggling through the pandemic sunnier days are ahead. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
Farmers fighting agricultural reforms in India staged a new protest today, marking 100 days since the beginning of their campaign against new agricultural laws. Tractors and trucks helped block a major expressway. Tens of thousands have been camped outside the capital since December. The farmers say 3 laws deregulating commodity sales will drastically reduce their income. The government says they are necessary to modernize the industry. India's Supreme Court has ordered the laws put on hold indefinitely. Well, those are a whole lot of birdhouses. 201 to be exact. Coming up, you'll meet a Georgetown family hoping to spread some cheer. A Mississauga teen is one of the youngest in the province to be vaccinated against COVID-19. She's a frontline worker who lives with immunocompromised family members. Jessica Ng joins us live from Mississauga tonight. So Jessica, that's where the teen received the vaccine.
Absolutely, Maribel. Now, just hours ago, 16-year-old Rachel Mendonza got the Pfizer vaccine in the Paramount Fine Food Center, which is the building behind me. She describes the experience as safe and effective and efficient, and she hopes that other young people understand the importance of getting vaccinated and register to get those vaccinations as soon as they're eligible. Rachel Mendonza and her family are arriving and ecstatic for 16-year-old Rachel to get the coveted COVID-19 vaccine.
Well, I think everybody should go get vaccinated if they're able to, because they can then keep their friends and family safe and their peers, and it just really can help the world become a better place.
She's one of the youngest people in Ontario so far. The 11th grader lives with immunocompromised parents. She's specializing in health and wellness at school and is currently completing a co-op placement at a Mississauga pharmacy.
At the pharmacy, I mainly fill the prescriptions, so I'll count the medicine and do all that. I can also talk to the customers and do pickup and drop-off transactions with them, and I can enter the prescriptions into the system.
The young frontline worker says her manager contacted her and her colleagues earlier this week to tell them they were eligible for vaccination.
We went on the portal and the portal was frozen. It was just spinning. I think there was just a lot of people trying to access it, and it took us about 5 or 6 hours, and then we were finally able to get through, and we were able to get an appointment within 3 days. So, seamless process. So.
The Paramount Fine Food Center in Mississauga is one of 2 vaccination clinics that opened this week in Peel Region. Peel Public Health says the dose capacity here is 7,800 per day. Rachel's mother, Haley, says there was a moment of uncertainty when they were inside the facility.
If it's Moderna, you have to be 18 and above, and you can only get Pfizer if you're 16 and above. So apparently they have turned people away because they're not sure what they're getting for that day. They don't know whether it's Moderna or Pfizer. So we were very fortunate they had both today, so she was able to get it.
Rachel says the process was easy.
Wasn't that bad? I didn't feel it at all.
How was it?
Oh, it was really good. It was completely painless. They took very good care of me.
While seniors are being prioritized in the next phase of vaccinations, Dr. Janine McCready, an infectious disease physician at Michael Garron Hospital, underlines the importance of vaccinating young people early.
Younger people also likely have a higher chance of being without symptoms. So even if she was following all the public health advice, doing everything she could, in her role as a frontline worker, she's going to be exposed to more people during the day, and then also potentially could pass on the virus to more people during the day.
Rachel says the experience gave her a new appreciation for frontline workers.
It was really empowering to see them that they're risking their lives. They've all gotten vaccinated, and now they're helping us get vaccinated.
A representative for Peel Public Health says second dose appointments are booked immediately after you get your first dose on site. Now, if you're not available 21 days after you get that first dose, it's okay. You've got a small window of time to get that second dose. Haley confirms to me that Rachel's second dose appointment is booked for April. I'll send it back to you in studio now.
All right, Jessica, thanks so much for this. Toronto and Peel are preparing for their stay-at-home order to be lifted and to move into the gray lockdown zone on Monday. But with countless changes in COVID-19 restrictions, do people know exactly what this latest one means? We took to the streets to ask just that.
What do you know about what will change on Monday,
Retail stores will become more open.
I definitely don't think people know what to do at all, 90% of the time. All I know is that they're going to reopen stuff in Toronto with just the new set of hours and stuff like that.
The stay-at-home order is going to the gray zone lockdown. The biggest difference is that non-essential stores can now open at 25% capacity, and we can be outside with 10 people. I had to really read into it, multiple articles, and I still don't know if that's the only changes.
It would be better if there was more communication, definitely.
Happy Toronto Day, everybody.
On this day in 1834, the city of Toronto was created. Toronto History Museums says the origins of the name come from Indigenous languages. They say in Mohawk, Takaronto means where the trees are in the water. Mayor Tory adds, today we honor the strength of the city and its people. Today marks 187 years of Toronto as a city.
Stages switching now to internal power.
46 natural ice rinks popped up around the city this winter. It's part of the city's natural ice rink program aimed to help people stay active this winter. Toronto-based director Kelsey Larkin created this video showing how the rink at Dovercourt Park was built. It documents how the rinks are made and shows a glimpse of the community that enjoys it. Definitely enjoyed some time on ice rinks this winter. It was a great activity to be able to do, Sophia.
It'll feel not so bad if you want to head out to the rink, unless they're melted if they're outdoors. For tomorrow, you'll have lots of sunshine. Still feels a lot like March, though, but things are about to change. Set your timers for the 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. This is why it's been so cold, though, this past weekend. This big blocking ridge of high pressure has been in place, and literally the cold has been the only thing in our story. That will change, though. Over the next few days, it finally moves out of the way, and all the warmth from the prairies and from the south can finally come into our neck of the woods. And it's not going to feel like March, not even going to feel like end of March. It will feel like early to mid-April. That mild push of air begins on Monday. Chance of a passing late day shower is well on Monday. And then Tuesday is your first out of 3 double-digit days. We haven't had a 3-day stretch of double digits since last November 9th, 10th, and 11th. That was fall, folks. Yeah, it's been a while. 10 degrees at least for Tuesday. Even warmer as well. Look in southwestern Ontario, 15 for Windsor. We might even be warmer than forecast if we get a little bit more daytime sunshine and a little less lake breeze influence as well. So watch out for that possibility. Wednesday, even the warmth filters up into the eastern part of the province. 10 degrees possible in Ottawa. A chance of a passing overnight or late day shower for those of you Wednesday into Thursday, but we hold on to the mild there Thursday as well. This is a 3-day stretch where, again, it feels like mid-April, but you don't want to put away the parkas. Yes, it will feel nice and warm and balmy, but then we fall back to earth again for the weekend. We're talking about back down to seasonal for into next weekend, even the chance for some rain and an icy mix, maybe even some flurries that will fly. So enjoy every single shot of warmth you can and savor it. But you know that winter might have a few shots left in its back pocket as well.
Okay, so we're walking outside for the first part of this week. Thanks,
yes, enjoy
Sophia.
it.
Okay. In Georgetown, one family built 201 birdhouses to create community cheer.
People have been pretty good through this pandemic, but people are wearing out. You can see the edges fraying, and it's not about money. It's not about time off. There's no hugs, there's no dinners. So somehow we put this together and came up with a crazy idea.
The Champ family built and painted the birdhouses in their garage and then placed them all around town. Carol Champ said some of their favorite spots for them were at community mailboxes, nursing homes, and schools. The birdhouses created some buzz in the neighborhood, and that's when the family started sharing some video on Facebook.
That are meant to cheer people up. And on the back side it says, "Take me home," and share your pics at hashtag create community cheer.
Jamie Champ said the community loved the birdhouses, but they don't plan to do the project again. They welcome anyone, though, to take the hashtag and run with their own community cheer project. What a great one to do. And that is our show for you tonight. Thank you for watching. And since we are marking Toronto Day today, we're going to leave you with a look at the Toronto sign at Nathan Phillips Square, lit blue and white to celebrate the occasion. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, take care of yourselves and please stay safe out there. Good night.